Angel Reese is simply too good right now. Her finish is much cleaner, she's turned to something of a mini engine, and her confidence is through the roof. This is not the same player from last season, and teams should start panicking. Now let's start with the scoring, because in my opinion, this is the biggest reason why Angel Reese has taken a superstar leap. Angel Reese has went from having a true shooting percentage of 46 her rookie season to posting a respectable 53 true shooting percentage, and since June 1st, which is a pretty hefty sample size that represents over 70% of the season, she has posted an amazing 58 true shooting percentage and 50% from the field. Her points per game production is up as well, and she is shooting better from every area of the floor. What has led to Angel's scoring improvement? To me, it's simple. On her drives and overall layup attempts, she was impatient and out of control a lot of the time. It seemed somewhat erratic at the rim, and on drives, which led to those possessions where she would miss multiple layups in a mini sequence, but that's not happening nearly as much. Like for example, look at this drive versus the Washington Mystics in the clutch. Angel is starting her drive forward, her hips are down, which helps her strongly keep her base, which was a big problem last season, and she's using her frame initiating contact, which again gives her all the leverage and gives the defender no choice but to foul. And same exact thing here against one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in the WNBA, Nafisa Coiler. Angel was just comfy in there, initiated contact. The moment she got the ball, kept her base the whole time, and she simply out-impatient her defender. And by the way, literally shot with half a second left for 3 seconds in the key, which tells me she's not getting rushed by anyone anymore. Last season, she would have probably got rushed and got her shot blocked or threw up a low quality shot. And same here against a much taller Shakira Austin. Angel explodes to the basket, staying low with her chest forward, and goes right into Austin, initiating all types of contact. But notice how tight her steps are. She's not just barreling into her defender anymore. It's all controlled and calculated movements, which leads to more body control, which in turn leads to more fouls and higher quality layup attempts. Simple as that. And the things that I named are the large reason why Angel Reese went from 30% on drive layups last season to 40% this season and 45% since June 1st, which again is a pretty hefty sample size. Now another example of Angel displaying vast improvements in her drive mechanics is against Kiki Arafin. She's getting low, her hips are low, tight control steps, and she's initiating contact the whole way. And even when you aren't getting the foul call, it just makes it so much easier to finish when you're putting that much pressure on the defense, because it just makes it so much harder for them to properly contest your shot, and it makes it significantly harder to block your shot when you're going into the defender. And it sounds simple, but these were the areas that Angel vastly needed to improve in, and that's what she just did. And you could also tell she's been in the gym too. Her core strength seems to be much stronger, which is so important for body control and transferring your power from your legs to your upper body on drives, which again were flaws for Angel last season, which is why all the time she got blocked and she fell on the floor after layup attempts. That's not happening as much this year, and it's the reason why last season she shot 42% on layups, and this season she is shooting 48%. And since June 1st again, which is a hefty sample size once again, she's shooting 56% on layups. The growth has been so significant, it's been nice to see. Now aside of just mechanical fixing, which of course makes it much easier to do so, but Angel has developed a real bag, and it makes getting good looks off so much easier. Like look at this play against the reigning DPOY on an island. Angel does a nice little in and out cross right into the post, gives a few bumps and spins her momentum the other way, using amazing footwork for the hook shot. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is literally right out of an Akeem Olajuwon highlight tape. And again, it's just, she's getting much better. Like, this is not the same player from last season. Now you look at this play against Liu Aru, sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but she's going from the baseline. Look how controlled and calm she is driving to the hoop. Beautiful footwork for a nice little spin into a right-handed layup. And I mentioned this clip for a reason. Lee is 6'7", and if you didn't watch Angel Reese play a lot last season, one of her biggest downfalls was scoring against taller players. She would often just try to finish over the top of them with not much footwork or finesse, which again only leads to a lot of blocks and poor quality shots. But fast forward a year and this couldn't be further from the case. She's now spinning off of them, using momentum. She's using footwork and head fakes and all that, and it's been so critical for her going against taller players. Her growth as a scorer has been so unreal to see, and she's dangerously close to entering that territory of being too strong for smaller defenders and having too much finesse and quickness for bigger defenders, as we saw in this clip, which in my opinion is a mark of the truly great scorers at the power forward position. Another area Angel has improved in greatly as a driver is her passing, which kind of goes into the next point, but she's starting to get so much respect as a driver, which means teams are going to start filling in the paint on her drives, and this play against the #1 defense is a great example. Angel once again ice on a Coiler, gets into the paint, forces Elena Smith to help, and Angel makes a very quick read to an open Elizabeth Williams for an easy 14-footer. and this just adds so much to her game. Like, her ability to consistently get in the paint is such a valuable skill. It just puts so much pressure on defenses and forces the help to really collapse and leads to open shooters. And again, one of the better playmakers in the world, Tyrese Halliburton, said that he judges how well he did that game based on how many times he got his feet into the paint. It just shows you how invaluable that skill is. And with how comfortable Angel is now with the ball in her hand, we're starting to see her frequently push the ball off of a rebound or a block or whatever and attack and run the offense herself, which again just puts so much pressure on defenses. Take for instance this play against Atlanta Dream. Angel grabs the ball and sprints down the court, and Grinder's still making it down there as a center, which makes sense, which means she has to find someone to guard. But she tries to get the smaller Hillman off of Cardoso, which means two people are guarding Cardoso, so Angel passes to Atkins for an easy open three. It's just very simple basketball, and that's the pressure of having someone who could push the ball after a rebound in transition, because in transition, that's where most defensive errors happen as a team. People who don't know who to guard, there's mismatches everywhere. And again, my personal favorite player example of this is against the Sun. Angel locks up Charles, creates a 3-on-3 in transition. She smoothly crosses over her matchup, which creates a 3-on-2, and key is she did not pass it early. She was patient and forced Marina Mabry to have to step in the paint, and the second she did, she created an easy transition 3 for Kia Nurse. Like I'm telling y'all, this addition to her game is massive, and being able to get the ball, get the board ahead of the defense, push it in transition is such an important skill for the elite tall playmakers. You look at Magic Johnson, you look at Ben Simmons, you look at Penny Hardaway, you look at Alyssa Thomas. They all master this, and Angel looks to be very good at this, which is so good for her game. Angel's interior reads have been fantastic. She's been making quick decisions, seeing plays develop early, and putting her teammates in possession position to be successful in the paint, especially her two bigs, Elizabeth Williams and Camila Cardoso. I look at this play against the Minnesota Lynx. Angel Reese gets Coiler behind her completely at her mercy, which forces Elena Smith to drop to the paint for help, so Angel reads that a diving Williams be wide open to Smith is Williams matchup. Now these are the plays where last year Angel Williams has gone up on two people, shooting a very difficult shot in traffic, but this year she's been steady when in traffic and making the right reads, which has been so huge for her development, and it's been huge for the Chicago Sky's bigs as well. Camila Cardoso has a 58 true shooting percentage with Angel Reese on the floor, and that number drops to an abysmal 45 true shooting percentage with Angel Reese off the floor, which is plain and simply put, absurd. And though not the same dramatic fall off, the Chicago Sky's backup center, who spent a lot of time playing with Angel Reese and Elizabeth Williams, also goes from 50 true shooting percentage with Angel on to 45 true shooting percentage with Angel off. So you might be thinking, oh, that's just because they have to shoot more when Angel's off the floor. More shots open up, that's why their efficiency will stay down, but their production will surely go up. Which is generally a fair assessment, but no, that's not close to being the case. Per 65 possessions, Camila Cardoso averages 18 points with Angel on the floor, per 65 possessions of course, and that number takes a nosedive to 11 points per 65 possession when Angel leaves the game. And it is the same thing with Elizabeth Williams, who sees her average goes from 15 per 65 possessions with Angel on to 11 per 65 with Angel off. Now this is an incredibly significant and very noticeable drop off, and it just ultimately speaks to Angel Reese's overall playmaking impact, and specifically her interior reads and her ability to throw a really good post entry pass. And most forwards, in fact very few forwards, possesses the ability to do that to the degree that Angel Reese does. Now Angel the playmaker has unlocked another dimension to her game and for the Chicago Sky. In her rookie season, Reese had just a 9% assist percentage, and in her sophomore season that has went up to 21%, which is more than a double up. If you don't know, assist percentage is essentially the percentage of your teammates' field goals that are assisted by you while you are on the floor. And Angel, as we know, has an exceptionally high basketball IQ, and you pair that with her passing ability that we've seen, how comfortable she is now with the ball in her hand, and with teams now forced to show immense respect for her scoring, then you have someone who could legitimately be a mini engine on the offensive side of the ball at 6'3". Like look at this pass against the Dallas Wings. She read the help perfect for an over-the-shoulder dime, and I love how Angel didn't stare Williams down, which is important for passing because you don't want to obviously telegraph your passes, but that was literally a Nikola Jokic type pass. Now this was a little play I wanted to show. It didn't really do nothing, but I just wanted to highlight how quick Angel was to fire that to an open shooter, which obviously Bannon was very open, but it was second nature for Angel to get the ball out there. Like it was like a 0.1 second read, which just shows me that she has great feel for the game and she doesn't hesitate to make the right reads. Now Angel Reese's development has been a sight to see. She's legitimately solidified herself as one of the elite players in this league, and we know about her intensity, her defensive ability, her elite generational rebounding ability, which is why I didn't want to highlight those three things in this video. But along with that, she has become, in my opinion, the second best playmaking forward in the WNBA. And she has turned into a legitimate good scorer, which is extremely scary, as last season those were the two things kind of holding her back from these elite combos. But now that I want to see Angel work on her ball security, There are too many times she turns the ball over carelessly, but I do believe it's just her adjusting to her new point forward type role, where she was never a high turnover player, which is why I'm not really worried. But with that said, thank you for watching this video, and let me know anything that you agree or disagree with in the comments below, and have a great day.